Yeah, good to see you. If you can see me, please say hi. David Waweru, good to see you. Duncan Lutaya, good to see you. Dennis, good to see you. Let me see. You're most welcome. Hello. Great, great. So as we wait for the rest of the members, I was watching an interesting video that I would like you to enjoy as we wait for the rest of the members to join us. So let me share my screen to be a very brief one. Let me make sure that it's ready fast. Great, love that.
Your brain coach, Jim Quick. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you 6 keys to rapid learning. Now, if you're watching this on video, you might be subscribed to our YouTube, which I encourage each and every one of you to do that if you haven't done that now. It says learning is not a spectator sport. And I've been saying that a lot for the past 20 plus years. Learning is not a spectator sport. Learning, like life, is not a spectator sport because the human brain doesn't learn best just by consuming information. The human brain learns better through creating and co-creating and being active, getting off the bench and doing something. Because we know knowledge by itself is not power, it's potential power. It becomes power when we utilize it, when we exercise it, when we apply and we implement it. So I'm going to give you 6 different things that are very tactical that you could do to be a more active learner so you can learn rapidly. Now, if you join any of our live programs, whether they're streaming or in person, I'll do something like a purposeful pause where I'll teach something for about 15 minutes and then take a little break and say, okay, take a few minutes now and summarize what I just shared with you. You know, in your own words, take a couple minutes and summarize what you just learned. And then I'll say, okay, after they do that, I'll say, okay, now turn to a partner. And for the next 5 minutes, teach them something that you learned or share in your own words something that you learned. And these are examples of turning passive learning into more active learning. And when you do so, you take agency, you take responsibility, and you own that information. When you're explaining to somebody else, you're writing out, you're using your own words. So you have this original awareness and it deepens the grooves of your learning. You're connecting things that you don't know yet to things that you already know. And this is all part of the active process. So let me give you 6 R's that you could apply right away to be able to be a more rapid learner. So the first R is going to be read. Now, when I say read, this is where you're actually learning the material. I like to go to reading because I think you read to succeed, but it could be listening to an audiobook. It could be listening to a lecture. It could be listening to a podcast, having a conversation with somebody, but you're intaking information. Now, obviously, if you are reading, definitely, if you haven't yet, join our quick reading program because that'll help you to triple your reading speed and get more comprehension and more focus and more understanding, retention, and enjoyment out of it. So the method definitely matters. Okay. So the first R is you read that information. That's being more active, but you're actively reading it. You're asking questions, you're using a visual pacer, you're very involved. Now, the second R after you read is I want you to reflect. And this is kind of like the metacognition. You're thinking about what you just read. You're thinking about your own thinking because it's not just about rapid reading or rapid learning. It's about taking time to reflect and making it personally meaningful to you, getting new nuances from the information, learning new levels of comprehension, new levels of understanding. So you're reflecting on the information. That's a way of being more active. Now, after you do the reading and after you do your reflection, the third R is I want you to record. So, what does record mean? It could be what I talked about earlier, taking 2 minutes and just writing in a journal or your notebook the things that you learned, right? Because now the information is coming in, but in order to express it out in the form of physical writing, you have to what? You have to deepen that knowledge, your understanding. You have to be able to comprehend it at a new level in order to be able to put it out, because it comes in through your eyes, right? It gets processed by your nervous system. And to be able to put it out and express yourself, you need to be able to understand, to organize the information. That's part of the learning journey. All right. So you're reading, you're reflecting, and then you're recording. Some people would prefer to audio record. There are many different ways of recording information. The fourth R, I would say, is after you did that, I want you to relate. What does that mean? Well, we know that learning doesn't have to be solo. It could also be effective being social. And you're talking to somebody else, you're relating to somebody else. So often at an event, or maybe if we're doing an online training, we'll put people into breakout rooms and they'll share 5 minutes on what they just learned, because you take advantage of the explanation effect. When you teach something, you get to learn it twice. So you're relating to somebody else what you just learned. So again, as a review, you first read it, you reflect on it, you record, and then what? Then you relate to somebody else about it. You share the ideas with that person. And the fifth R is retrieval. And they call this active retrieval. This is where you test yourself or have somebody else test you about what you just learned. So imagine you're reading a section of a book and then you're relating to somebody, explaining, maybe you did the writing and the reflecting, the nuance of what is happening in that specific situation. And then you relating, and then that person quizzes you. You're doing active retrieval, or maybe you're asking questions of yourself. You're quizzing yourself with the book closed, for instance, and not looking at your notes, how much you actively remember. And they call it active retrieval. And I honestly would rather have somebody read something and do active retrieval than read something twice, because the act of going inside and trying to pull information out is the purest test in terms of whether or not you really have that information, right? So active retrieval, asking questions. We say questions are the answer. It helps you to direct your reticular activating system. So when you have those questions and you're reading again, you're just like, oh, there's an answer, there's an answer, there's an answer, there's an answer. Even when we're doing test preparation and we teach people to go look at the questions at the end before they do the reading comprehension, because then when they go through it, they see, oh, that's what the author was looking for. That's what they deemed was important, right? So you read it, you reflect on it to give it personal meaning, you record your ideas, you relate to somebody else, and then you do active retrieval. You quiz yourself and you test yourself to see how much information is really inside. And finally, the last R, the 6R, if you will, for rapid learning or active learning is going to be review. The power of spaced repetition, spaced review. That if you spread information out, maybe let's say you go through this process and you read it and you did everything. You read it, you reflected on it, you recorded it, related to somebody else, you did all these different things. Maybe the next day before you start studying and you pick up where you left off in that textbook or in that lecture or what have you, you review what you did the day before, right? Because when you get spread out information, they call it spaced repetition or interval training. What it allows you to do, let's say you study it and then you review it an hour later, maybe a day later, maybe a week later, maybe even a month later, it helps you to consolidate and transfer that short-term memory and make it more long-term memory. So that review is absolutely
Fantastic. All right, fantastic. That is the end of the video today. We are not going to go all the way to the last bit. And I want to welcome you all to this meeting. This meeting is basically for you people. It is not for a lot of things. We call it the technical information session. And in the technical information session is we basically want you to understand what exactly this program is all about. We want also to prepare you adequately so that as we proceed in this program, you're already then doing this from a point of knowledge. But even before we go to that is the reason as to why I decided to share the video about the 6R of reading is because you're going to get yourself or immerse yourself into a process of reading. You'll be immersing yourself in the process of learning a new skill. You'll be immersing yourself in a new environment that you've naturally not been through. It's a new skill. So what happens is the goal, number one, is to be able to comprehend, to understand and apply this skill in a different setting. And that's why I brought in the 6R. Number one is your reading. In reading, it means you need to read the road design principles. I'll be sharing lessons, scripts, quotes, notes, design principles. How much do you read? It is important also to note that as you go through this process as an engineer, is you are also a reader. You need to be exploring new concepts. The second one is you need also to reflect through this journey. I have seen a lot of people come through this training and you just go through it. You just go through it. You're not reflecting. What am I learning? What skills am I honing? If you are one of the people who have already registered for the program, you realize that one of the questions that I ask you is, why do you really want even to do this program? Because for me, I don't want your money. I'm asking you, why do you want to do this program? What is some of the key reasons as to why you want to join this program? So I want to hear from you people. How was your day and how can you be able to apply, or how do you think the video or the 6 hours of reading would apply in the learning process of engineering skills? So they read, reflect, record, relate, retrieval, and review. How are these applying to this program that we'll be doing with you here? So I'm going to open the forum to you people. This is just the first phase, which is interaction. We are going to the second phase and then the last phase. Today's session is going to be very brief, so please be ready to share with us. So I open the floor to anyone and everyone who is ready to share with us. Please take the floor. Someone, let's go.
Good evening, people. It's
Good evening.
it's Baron Silent from South Africa. Yeah, honestly speaking, I've been part of Rose Up since last year, and I always attend the courses for one of many reasons, but one of the many reasons why I do is more of a refresher. And the funny thing is, I always learn something new um every court that I attend. I always add on to the skills, and it's always taking up. So for me, I would say number one, it's more of a refresher, like the video that we're watching on, refer back to it. Constant spaced repetitions. So if you continuously repeat something, it sticks. So yeah, for me, it's more of a refresher and just to keep my skills sharp. If you don't practice something for a very long time, you won't become as sharp as possible. So yeah, for me, it's a refresher to keep myself sharp and to also always learn something new, because I always learn something new. Yeah, that's my take. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's a great take. So for him, he attends the program for refresher. And also he thinks also if you apply these lessons, you get to sharpen your skills. Thank you. It's good to hear from you, gentlemen. Let's get to hear from one more person. You don't need to be shy. So just speak. Uh-huh. David Waweru, what do you think? How was your day? Why would you think you need to read and reflect and comprehend in this program?
Hello, James.
Yes.
Yeah, my day was good. About the program, like in the field, I interact with this using road construction. So more knowing more in depth in civil 3D can help me understand more critical issues like the alignment and maybe the geometric elements that I can input maybe, or that I get in raw data I can have as a reflection on the application.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. I like that. I would like to hear from one more person before now I make my presentation. Please let me hear from one more person, and then we can move on to the second phase. One more person, please.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Hamid.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, all my friends here.
Good morning. Good evening.
Good evening, yeah. Mr. James, thank you for your applying this course. For me, the reason I joined this class is I almost was a junior surveyor around 3 years, last 3 years. So someday you put some text in RoadHub WhatsApp group. Then when I read it, I talk to myself and I say, how it is if you become a full engineer who can design through this? Then I take the decision, and I was waiting around last 4 months to join this class. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Hamid, for sharing that. And I'm glad to know that you've been in the industry for the last three or so years, and you want now to upgrade and probably get better and better and better. So thank you, everyone. So I want to go to the fundamentals of this program because that is why we are here today. So that we probably get to understand what exactly it is that we need to go over. But just before that, I would like to say that this program will not be entirely facilitated by myself. I have a team of engineers who will be helping us. So I would like them to take a minute, of course, starting with Wesley. Wes, are you around? If Wes is not around, we can have the gentlemen who are around here to be able to help you so that they can introduce themselves and then we take it away. Team, please take it away.
Thank you, Engineer James. To all
Yes.
the participants to this program, welcome. It's an honor to serve you again. It's always been an honor to serve you people. And just as Engineer Baron has stated, we've been attending this session for quite a while. And one thing that I can guarantee you is I always learn something new from you and maybe from the training when I look at it from another angle. And I encourage all of you to do the same. I've been the one who has been facilitating your software installation, and I think I'll continue to do the same for those who are yet to be onboarded. I'll also be the captain for DeepCube 1, so we'll interact more. So yeah, not to take much of the time, I'm Captain Wesley. I'm Indiano. My name is Indiano Wesley. I work for RoadSub and Technobyte, a consulting firm in Kenya, and I'm a civil engineer in Kenya. And that's all. We'll continue to collaborate and learn more from each other as we continue. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Engineer. One more person. Next person, please.
Thank you, Engineer James. Good evening, everyone. My name is Blesius Chilimo. I've been the one who has been onboarding you guys for those who have passed through my hands. And I want to thank you for being very cool. You have been amazing all through, and you guys are just great. I'll be the captain for DeepCube 2. and I'll also be assisting you in regard to recordings. That's to the entire team. So in case you guys find any difficulty in accessing the recordings or they are not uploaded on time, you'll have my contact there. You can always reach out to me. I'm looking forward to having you in the next 5 weeks, and I hope that we are going to learn a lot. Thank you and welcome again.
Thank you. Next captain, please.
Good evening, everyone.
engineers. Sorry, Hans.
Okay, continue.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Gatumo Ithaka, a civil engineer from Kenya, and I am happy to be part of the Roads Up team. So mine is to welcome you to our civil 3D design course on highway design. So I will be leading DeepCube number 4, and I am looking forward to interacting and growing with you. As Captain Wesley stated, every time we get to interact with engineers, it's an honor because we get to interact with very brilliant and very smart people who always end up sharpening us as we continue sharpening them. So see you in the training, and I'm looking forward to interacting and connecting with you guys. So all the best as well.
All right. Thank you. Next one, Kanza, please.
Good evening, engineers. My name is Hans Kanza from Tanzania. I'm a civil engineer. I am part of the Roads Up team. We'll be together in DeepCube 1 together with Captain Wes. I look forward to interacting with you, connecting with you, learning and growing with you. Welcome on board for those who are already onboarded, and for those that this technical information will give light and guidance for you to make that bold step to join the cohort. You won't regret it. This is going to take you to another step in your career and in your professional path. Welcome again, and I'm glad to have you for the next 5 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. That's our captain from Tanzania. Let's get to hear from Dairy.
Good evening, engineers. My name is Dennis Nderi. I am a civil engineer from Kenya. Captain Blasius and I will be with you in DeepCube 2. And I take this chance to welcome you to this cohort. We'll be here to serve you, to help you learn, to solve any challenge that you might encounter in the course of your training. I encourage all of us to approach the training with an open mind. Let's all learn and let's all grow together. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Please continue introducing yourself for the rest of our attendees. You can continue introducing yourself in the chat box, and I'm going to go through that. I can see it's already happening. Next, Captain, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, Felix.
Thank you once again. Sorry, Engineer Abraham, for that. Once again, my name is Felix Araka, as the engineer has introduced. I'll be one of the captains that will be taking you through, some of the sessions that will be assigned by Engineer James. I'll be working with those who are in DeepCube number 5, all right, in conjunction and collaboration with Captain Nyanja Abraham. And just as, one of the tenets of Roads Up is, collaboration and cooperation. And that's why we are teaming up to, to take you through with different ideas and, different ways of how to go about the things that we do here. So once again, we'd like to welcome you to our team. And I look forward to engaging with you guys for the next 5 weeks. And let's see how it goes. Thank you so much once again, Engineer.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Felix. We call you Mr. Empathy. Abraham, please.
Good evening, engineers. Abraham Nyanja.
a civil engineer from Uganda. It's a pleasure to be here. You're most welcome. I can assure you, whoever is already on board, you've already taken a huge step towards becoming an ultimate engineer. You're most welcome. I'll be in Deep Tube number 5 together with Captain Felix, and we are here to serve you. You're most welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen. I think we are closing up now, right? We are too many. We are too many here to serve you people. And I want now to believe that we've been able to cover everyone. I know most of you are wondering what are these deep cubes, but before that, I know Baron has yet to introduce himself. So Baron, please take it away.
Thank you, engineer. Good evening, everyone. My name is Baron Sarent. I'm a civil engineer. I live in South Africa, and also part of ROSAP. I'll also be part of the captains that are here to serve you. So yeah, I'm quite excited for you guys, and I'm really excited to be part of this journey with you, to learn and grow with you as well. My advice is just lean in, do everything that is asked of you. This course has been here for some time, so it's tried and tested. There's so many things that have been improved. So I'll just say lean in and yeah, absorb as much as you can and learn as much as you can. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, engineer. And I think you close it for us. So it's important to note that I want to make it clear that this community is such a diverse community. It covers every aspect of every part of Africa has been represented in this community. So please feel welcome. This is our community, and I want you to feel comfortable. Remember that we respect and honor you, and therefore this is a free community for you to express yourself and also share your ideas. And prepared a 5-slide presentation where I was basically sharing my thoughts about a specific topic that is of interest to you as you proceed through this program. Do not worry, even if you see my stuff. This computer is a work computer, so you won't see anything funny. It will be just for you people. So as we go through this program, we call it the technical information session. And one of the reasons as to why we are here to disseminate the technical information that you need through this program so that you can be able to succeed. And as we do that, one of the things that I've noticed is we always think that when we are talking engineering, when we are talking trainings, when we are talking programs, we are always anchored on the technical bit and we forget the soft bit. And I want you to think of yourself like a software. So I don't know which is which, but I know one of them entails your mindset and your preparedness to the program. And this is basically what I want to go through basically now for just a few minutes. And then after that, we are also going to get to the technical information. The reason as to why I'm going through this section is because most of the people who join our program and many other programs that you joined do not drop out or do not fail to get the best out of the program, not because of the softwares, not because of the technical language, not because of these other aspects. Sometimes it's because of the soft part, our perspective and our mindset. In this journey, I'll be sharing briefly about just a simple question. Why do most engineers struggle to master CAD skills or whatever skills that you're looking at? So we are all engineers. We want to master the technical skills. Why do we fail in that endeavor? Why has it been so difficult to learn it from the platforms? Why has it been difficult for you to probably learn from Udemy, from YouTube, from all of these spaces? I would like to hear that from some of you. Just basically, briefly, why? Why do we struggle? Why do we struggle? I would like to hear from you people. Why are you struggling? Why was it a challenge for you? Why didn't you make the best out of those programs? I would like to hear from you, just a few guys, and then the rest we can be able to drop them in the chat box. Please take it away. Guys, this is an interactive one. So answer the question. Just share your thoughts. There is no right or wrong. Just share.
Good evening.
Good evening, Miriam.
Yes, Miriam Kariuki from Kenya. And I would say for me, the main challenge was I concentrated most on the management side. And because on site we have a surveyor and a CAD technician, I did not see the need to learn the Civil 3D. And that is how I overlooked it. But now I've seen the need to know it because I want to do things on my own. To an extent that when computing the quantities, I would still find myself asking for assistance. So I'm very open-minded in this program. I want to get the best from it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. She overlooked it, and what she's looking at is freedom and actually ability to maneuver around even at a management level. Thank you very much. One more person.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Chiwera, all the way from South Africa. The reason why I find working with 3D, Civil 3D difficult is because on YouTube, you usually find that they will teach you all the steps and whatnot, but then there's no concrete tutorial to actually, or exercise, let me say, to actually do the work. So I've been searching like videos where there's an actual tutorial to carry the work. And with what I do, I'm an assistant road manager. So it's just basically road maintenance. So you're not designing anything, you're just maintaining the road. And I would want to change sectors and go into the design field than just maintenance, because maintenance is just surface level engineering and not the depth of it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
YouTube is more and then you don't get to practice it. The second is development. Yes, please. Yes, good evening.
Good evening,
Ashraf?
everyone. Yes. Yeah, I have.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Do you hear me?
Yes, proceed.
Yes. Yeah, why do most of engineers struggle to master the CAD skills? Sorry, my name is Ashraf Rema from Tanzania. Yes, why do most engineers struggle to master CAD skills? Because sometimes there is an issue like lack of formal training. We know many of us engineers rely on self learning. So rather than to get skills, add other skills. For example, myself, from now I'm working at a Chinese company as a road safety engineer. So there are some of the drawings like layout drawing for diversion sections, layout drawing for the road section to know the position for the signages. So in our companies, there are the surveyors and the people from the drawing. So I would like to learn the CAD skills so as to forecast for the coming days so I can be able to design those drawings on myself as a road safety engineer. Thanks.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's a very good take. I like that, the clarity. Thank you. One more person, please.
Evening, engineers, evening. My name is Chabu from South Africa. I work mostly in maintenance and
Yes,
construction.
Jabu. Good evening.
Evening. So I'm primarily involved in construction and maintenance. So my design exposure has been very minimal. So I feel like with this course, I would have more exposure in designing a road. And my primary objective for attending here is to get a first-hand experience in designing a real scenario. That's what I've been struggling to get on YouTube, because most of the standards are international standards. So with this course being a Southern African course, I feel like it's gonna align more with a lot of designs from the Southern Africa. So yeah, I'm looking forward to engaging and learning from you engineers. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. So it's very. I'm happy to hear from you people. Let me see whether someone shared something in the chat box that I might have missed. We are saying this is Maina Jeffy there. It's good to be here to sharpen your skills. I can see Mike is saying from Uganda, inspired by James Muridi, not just because of the profession, but the mindset and attitude. Thank you very much, Mike. Anthony Care, there is inconsistencies in practicing disease, that there's a lack of a whole picture to design. I think that's a big thing. Then Minor talks about feeling to have project that one can utilize the skills on. That's a big one. So Buza is talking lack of motivation and finding the right coach to make you understand the basic concepts and application to real world projects. That's a big one. Then Tapiwa says, difficulty in securing a real project to work on. I'm here to give you that. Matthew is so, great. Brian is mostly when learning from YouTube without the practical assignment, you overlook simple mistakes due to lack of motivation and, of course, lack of guidance. And I think all of these things are true. They are same scenarios that I got to also to go through, and that's why I decided to come up with this program. So my name is James Muridi. I am the founder and currently serving as the CEO at Ronsub. I consider myself a dynamic leader who is able to ignite creativity, rally diverse team, and also, in a way, pioneer breakthrough solutions in the construction industry. I really love working with teams because I believe that in engineering is a career of teams, and I'm here to work with you people. You can see RoadSub is such a diverse team, and I find a lot of joy and fulfillment to work with these gentlemen. And then again, I also find it very interesting to work with you engineers as you come here. So you understand, like, this program, you're going to be like, I don't know, 60, 70 guys, and it will be fantastic to guide you through this journey. I am very committed on personal development. I keep developing myself, my skills, because I believe that if you really need to grow as the world is growing, you need to develop yourself. And I want you engineers to make this right, or to get this right. It is not only on developing your technical skills, it's not only developing your design skills. You also need to invest time in developing your mindset. You need to take time developing your reading. You need to take time to sharpening your teamworking or teamwork skills. You need to develop your collaboration skills. You need to keep evolving and becoming better and better. Do your masters, do a lot of things for yourself. I have also been able to train quite a number of guys. I think we are currently at 1,100, and the rate has been 86%. But all of this is towards a single vision that I have. And my vision is where we merge technical excellence with personal leadership while we are leveraging technology, especially for young engineers. So we are creating an holistic and a new era of holistic professionals in the built environment sector, where we can be able to merge technical excellence with personal leadership as we leverage on technology. So how does this look like? We are building both the technical skills, we are building both leadership, and at the same time, we are leveraging the use of technology. So I hope that you are going to get this, and this narrows down to the core pillars that you'll be learning in this program, which is basically number one, the design skills. So you'll be sharpening your design skills. The second one is, of course, the mindset, and the mindset comes with leadership, it comes with collaboration and the soft skills, so that you get to know more people, so that you become a leader. I can see someone is writing on my screen. Please, I would ask you to allow me proceed without necessarily writing on the screen. So I want to tell you people, I know that you've been through a certain journey. And this is a common journey that I have also walked through. Almost everyone has walked through the same journey. And as you move from school to the real world, it becomes like there are two different journeys that you really got through. There is the schoolwork, which is a little bit more of theoretical knowledge. You are gaining the engineering principles, you're doing all the calculations and the mathematics. And then now, when you come to the real world, you find that actually the kind of calculations that you're doing, especially in transportation, they are quite minimal. And also, they are sometimes irrelevant and out of context. So you find that it is very difficult for you as a transport engineer to be able to apply the Euler's formula. It's very difficult for you to do that. So the whole world becomes completely different. When you go also to the world, you find that the kind of things that people are doing and the kind of things that you are doing in school, they are somehow out of sync. And it is the same thing that was actually happening for me. And this is one of the things that motivated me to create this program. And going back to the pain points, I genuinely had a very interesting childhood. I was growing up in the village, and we spent a lot of time fetching water in the nearby stream. And one of the things that I used to do with my friends was to build small bridges. And as we were building these small bridges and roads across the small tributaries, and as I grew up, I would always see myself building the roads, I would see myself building bridges, and would see myself building infrastructure. So when I came to the university, taking my major in transportation was pretty easy. But funny enough, my campus life was very gloomy in terms of engineering. I was really into business, into entrepreneurship. I remember at some point I even almost, I was like, why am I even doing engineering? I was not seeing a lot of sense in it. But then again, I reconnected back to the purpose of why I wanted to become an engineer. And deep down, I knew that being an engineer was about creation. And campus was not giving me that opportunity to be a creator. And therefore, in such a setting, what happened to me is a disconnection. It's a disconnect between who I am and what I was doing at that specific point. So I want you to ask yourself this question. As an engineer, do you consider yourself a creator? Because the designers are creators. What you're setting yourself into is in the art of figuring things out. And in the art of figuring things out, therefore, it means you're going to create. You're going to take very disorganized and unlivable spaces and convert them into avenues of connectivity. You'll be looking at some data and you need to make sense from that data. So ideally what this looks like is, as at the core of who you are is being a creator. And then you're figuring out, or you're bringing in order in a world of chaos. If you look at this picture that is here, if you remove the road, everything else becomes chaotic. If you remove the landscaping that has been done, everything else becomes chaotic. And therefore, it took the hands of an engineer to come and bring it here. This is what actually misses in our campuses. This is what misses in our engineering school. This is also what we miss because we have zero skills and we have zero guidance and zero mentorship. So from that point of confusion, I didn't have any impact in my university life. I didn't even do anything, a lot of things meaningful. I was just going to class, get the grades, get done, and then leave. I don't know, most of you have done great things. Most of you probably could have related. But then I came out to the world, and that is when I met a moment of desperation. I couldn't do nothing, man. I remember I was talking to some gentlemen today, Kaluma. I was talking to many other engineers, and they were telling me how immediately they came from campus and they went now to the workplace, just where most probably some of you are. These people at the workplace don't care about, you scored a first class, you scored a second class, you got whatever, that's your business. What they want is, can you offer value to our company? Can you be able to solve a challenge? What skill set do you have? And therefore, that was a great moment of desperation. I remember I reported at Kenya National Highways Authority, and we were seated on a bench, and the engineers who were picking some interns to go with them to site, they came and picked a few guys, and the question that they were asking is, are you new here? Yes. So what do you do? What are you good at? So that they know where to position you. For us, we were like, we were silent. So in that moment, you feel very valueless. You feel like you are not offering any value. And most of the people, what happened at that instance is some stopped coming to the internship. And this is also what happens in apprenticeship. Most of you now decide you will be invisible. You are coming, but you're going to be invisible. But that is not always an answer, because how long are you going to be invisible in this world? If you decide to be invisible, when will you make your career count? Most of the engineers also do the same because of that desperation, because of lack of skills, because of lack of that relation between the theoretical knowledge and the practical knowledge. What happens is they decide to be invisible in the engineering space. So what do? They start selling clothes, they start doing those other things, and you are disconnected from the core of who you are. For me, my conviction and belief is, and I want you also to think about it, if you chose engineering, you are a problem solver. You are a creator. You find yourself thriving and evolving when you're creating things, when you're solving problems, when you're addressing challenges, when you're doing things. So when you go out of that space, then desperation kicks in. But then the transition from you moving from the campus life where you are just reading for the exams, and then you want to move to this other part where there is hard skills to exercise and solve problems. I call it a snail's marathon. And in this snail's marathon, it can take too long. This is why I call it a snail's marathon. I don't think a snail knows where it's going. Like that thing doesn't have even, I don't know, I've never seen them with eyes. It's just sensing the environment and find, I move in this direction, so I move. If it turns and find an obstacle, it moves in this direction, it moves in this direction. And if you picture yourself in such a scenario, you can probably tell the outcome that you expect. What is the outcome? And that is actually the real thing that happens with us. That is what was almost happening with me. I remember the first few months were a moment of desperation, were a moment of me thinking about going back to my home care business. It was a moment of me thinking about how do I make ends meet. And it's a lot of pain and challenge and desperation. But then if you get the right guidance, just like I was fortunate enough to get one of the engineers where I went for my attachment, he was able to show me this software, the Civil 3D, and it was a little bit intimidating. But what even motivated me is the output. So the software was intimidating. The things that he was talking about, I don't know, corridors, blah, 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 blah. I didn't get that. But one of the things that was exciting was me seeing that he started from some data, some points that are XXX, and then he transformed this into something like what we are seeing on screen now. He transformed it into something that was useful and meaningful. And that really got me interested. I was like, yo, man, come on. This is something I want to explore. And then what happened is I got into active doing, into learning every day. I committed my mind to that. And this is what I want you to do. If you're here, if you're in the program, if you're not, that is not my business. My business, your business is to commit. Commit to whatever you're doing. Commit to getting a certain outcome. Commitment is very important. And once you commit, you see something that is called exponential potential. I always see this in a lot of programs. I saw some people starting, and you will start, of course, struggling. I know you will struggle. You'll find a reaction. And then in that case, you will find how I'm able to create one thing. I'm able to create two. I'm able to create another thing. And then what happens is your painful state starts becoming more painful. That is the reality. Your painful state of not knowing becomes more painful when you actually start knowing. And this is where we come in with the mindset that we need through this program. In the first week, you will be excited, or the first few days, and then after that, the graph goes to feeling more painful. You will be frustrated. You'll be feeling like, no, this is not my thing. I am not meant to be probably an engineer. Design is not cut for me. So this is the emotional part. It is your brain reacting to new knowledge, new approaches, and new techniques. So your painful state is going to become more painful. But then with that, you need now to have a different approach for you to reduce the pain and to ensure that you don't get the reflex. So I call this the speed learning technique. And this is what we're going to be employing in this program as we go. And one of the things is we call it FAST. This is an acronym. I want you to write it down. It's called FAST. So FAST is number one is you forget. So the first F stands for start with a beginner's mindset, and you need to forget limitations so that you open doors to limitless learning. And this is my promise, and this is my request to you, that from now going forward, I want you to forget all the limitations that you earned in design. I want you to forget. Yes, Edia, do you have something to share? Okay, thank you. I want you to forget the limitations. You remember last time I shared a topic on myths and misconceptions that people have around design, that people have around learning Civil 3D. What I'm asking you is, if you're getting into this program, I want you to forget all of those myths. I want you to forget all of those misconceptions. The second one is active. As you get into this program, you need to get proactively involved in creating, designing projects, and design challenges. What does this look like? In essence, we'll be working on a 9-kilometer project road. And I remember it's Shawela from South Africa who was saying that she doesn't have some area of concrete exercise. So she understands the core of learning hard skills. if you want to learn hard skills, you need to get in. Let's look like in our program. We are working with a 9-kilometer project down into small bits that in this delivery on them after every you work on them, you will find it in the team is going to review, give you feedback. You make sure you work on the feedback and then keep growing. That is the only way you learn. Everything else, stop watching tutorials, stop doing those things. Even if you watch tutorials for 10 years and you don't get in the ring, you will never learn a skill. If you look at this picture, the gentleman that is standing is just having fun, and you will probably never remember what this board is. But for the lady that is in blue, that they are getting involved, they will remember even the decimal point. They will remember the numbers as they were done. Then the third point that I want you to remember is a state. State is emotions. And I want you to remember this. Human beings are emotional beings. Learning is an emotional process. Why is it an emotional process? You have aspirations. The aspirations that you have, you need to convert them into an emotion. I remember someone told me that they lack motivation. Look here, guys. My motivation is the strong emotion and desire that I have to see you succeed. Like my whole life is like I'm having a desire to push and go and see you succeed. I want to see more engineers grow. I want to see more engineers learn. So this is the emotion that I seek. And then after that, I combine it with the information. What information? You tell me your pain. So your pain is the information that I need to connect it with my emotion and desire to uplift you. And what happens is I have a long-term memory. I get self-drive. I get every time I'm sleeping, I know that I am carelessly wasting my time. I am wasting a time that could help an engineer somewhere. So I am super activated and motivated. The second point and another perspective, I want you to remember, I want you to go back to your first love. I know this is not a love affair. I'm not asking you to go to your past, but I want you to look at your first love. You already have a picture. Yes, that's fantastic. You have a picture of him in mind. If you are yet to experience that, I am wishing you all the best. You're gonna experience it this year. I will pray for you so that you experience it. You remember that person because of two things, and some of you actually have even felt something. Information, their name, the mention of first love, you immediately connected it with a person. You connected it with a face. That is information that is stored. And then the second is emotion. There was love, there was connection. So what happens is a long-term memory. You will never forget them. If you want or not, you will not forget them. It is the same concept in engineering. I want you to remember the pain, the job that you missed. Shawela, I want you to remember how painful it is to be just a mere maintenance engineer and the aspiration of getting into a bigger project. So that means you need to put in the work and learn better skills that are going to get you in a better state. The other perspective is also imagination. You need to activate your imagination. You need to think where you want to go. Also, design is about imagination. As you're designing, you need to visualize yourself driving on those roads. How do they look like in real time? And then that is how you have long-term memory of the knowledge and the skills and every aspect that you're going to absorb. And then lastly is you need to teach. You need to teach. you need to teach. You need to teach. Learn it as if you will teach it to someone else. In this program, the idea and the vision that I had is to create a community-based learning platform. We are here to learn from each other. That's why we are collecting brains and top brains and minds from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, from Uganda, from Kenya, from Tanzania, from Somali, from Qatar, from all of this, so that we teach each other, we learn from each other, and then from that point, we are very certain that our skills are going to last for a long time and they are going to create an impact. So for FAST, the first F is forget, active, state, and teach. And then what that happens is it is going to take you through this map. And I remember that I mentioned this lastly. So if you go through the FAST acronym, what happens is, for example, you are at this point, and this is a novice. When you are a novice, you are unconsciously incompetent. Incompetent. This happens to people who don't know anything. And I love it. And I like the honesty that I was seeing in the registration forms. I saw people telling me, yo, bro, I don't know nothing. I don't even know what the hell this is about, but I want to be here. That is, you know, I don't know whether that is even unconscious incompetence. Like, you don't know whether even you're competent, you don't know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. And that is perfectly fine. And it's a good state. So you need to accept it. That is the first stage. And then you need to get the second stage, which I suppose you'll be doing that in the first week, which is advanced beginner. You become consciously incompetent. Most of you are here, probably. I know the novice is just a minimal percent of probably 10. And then most of you are also in the conscious incompetence. So in the conscious incompetence stage is where you already know that I am incompetent in some aspect. I do not know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. That is a fantastic place. This is the category where most of you fall. The novices and then the advanced beginners. Now, what is my job? What is our job? We want to take you to proficient, where you become consciously competent. So this looks like at the end of this program, you must be able to know the things that you know, tell them, explain them, do them, and teach others the things that you do. I want you to remember that. At the end of this program, the bare minimum for you is to be able, number one, to be consciously competent, to know the things that you know, then explain them in simple terms, and then be able to do them, that is, give results, and then you can be able to teach another person. If you don't do that, you will have failed yourself. And I don't believe anyone here wants to fail themselves. And then from that bit, with a bit of exercise, with a bit of pushing, with a bit of inspiration, with a bit of direction and guidance, you can get to the expert. So this is where you become unconsciously competent. I don't know whether you understand this. It's like a golf player who is so good. Like, they don't really have even to think how they are kicking it. It's like the footballers. That's why they are called experts. I mean, they don't really have to think about what they know and what they don't know. It's like they are in the flow. They can do and execute great projects together. And this one, after that, you can go to the master. This is the world-class mastery. This is now up to you. This is personal effort. Actually, to transition from expert to mastery is personal effort. It is completely personal effort. So how does this apply in Civil 3D? When you are knowing how to use the software, blah, 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 you are probably at advanced beginner. But then when you get to proficient level, is you using the software to solve problems. If you already know the software, that's fine. You are still an advanced beginner. But then we are looking at proficiency. How can you be able to use the software to solve problems? So I don't want to hear anyone telling us you want to get deep into the software. Deep to where? You only get as deep as the size of your problem. You get as deep as the size of your problem. So if you're designing an intersection, you'll require deeper skills. If you're designing something deeper or more complex, you require and develop more skills. So thank you very much. Then, if these are the stages that you are going through, what does the roadmap look like for us? So this is the roadmap, amazing people. I am taking you through the roadmap, and I want to believe that we are going to complete this very fast so that we know now to the tools that we need to go through the roadmap. Oh my God, no, not that one, sorry. Gatimu, how do we present on this one? You know, this thing is, yeah? Gatimu, how do I present here? Wesley, how do I present here now? I'm stuck. Anyway, okay.
Engineer,
I hope you can see. Yes?
can you double click on was it a presentation? No, I don't think so.
It's the course outline that I wanted us to go through, but no problem. I hope I can be able to. Please let me know whether you can you be able to see the screen, at least a bit of it?
You can take it back to the first Zoom. I think increase the Zoom level should be good enough. Increase it to it. Yeah, that should be good. That should be good enough.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, I was taking you through the mindset bit, and that one will be emphasized through the ultimate engineer mindset. I'll be speaking to you with power and inspiration every day, every morning. I hope you get to interact with that. And then you understand that you need the FAST framework, and now you understand where you stand. So are you a novice? Are you a beginner? Are you proficient? Are you an expert, or are you a master? And where do you want to go? That is very important. It is until you have that clarity that you can be able to pursue this journey. And in pursuing this journey, then, that is why I've created this standard guide. It's like a roadmap that is going to take us throughout the journey. I remember it was, I don't remember the actual name, but let me, okay. There's a fantastic engineer who said she lacks someone who can be able to paint the full picture. And that's actually something very profound, if you ask me. Why? Because when it comes to designing roads and learning these softwares, it is quite a lot of things. If you, for example, talked about designing the 9-kilometer project road, it's quite a huge thing. So you need a roadmap. You need someone who has been down that road to be able to paint the picture for you, slowly by slowly. And this is what this study guide is meant to do, to help us go through this journey. And for example, like today, we are already done with the technical information session. And then on Monday, we are going to have another session that we call the kickoff meeting. So what is the kickoff meeting? In the kickoff meeting, we are going to go through something that is called the ultimate engineer philosophy. The ultimate engineer philosophy is basically meant to entrench in you the designer's mindset. In the designer's mindset is most of you, this is an assumption, we could be wrong or we could be right, you have been inactive in this specific area. Most of you have been probably in the perspective of an observer, a spectator in engineering, in road design. You have been in the status of a consumer. So, for example, you've been consuming tutorials. You have been consuming lessons. You've been consuming road design manuals and all of that. So then what do we have to do with the ultimate engineer philosophy? We want to transform you from a consumer to a creator. We want to change your personal perception. We want to see how do you perceive yourself. I don't have issues with anyone calling themselves GEs and graduate engineers. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's something that you can't run away from. But there is a connotation, and this is a mindset connotation that is associated with that word. And it is in two aspects. The first one is a general engineer. That is the first one. GE, for me, and how I see it, and how I see people expressing themselves when they're in that category, is they are saying their GEs is for general engineers. What does this mean? You don't have a specialty. You are formless. You are basically, I don't know whether it's called amorphous or there's a name. Sometimes it's something like it's not a sense of direction. So for many GEs, they are looking at, I will be better, I will become good when I become a professional engineer, when I register to become a professional engineer. So in itself, it's like a mental yoke. And I want to get you out of that. And I am telling you for a fact, the moment you step out of that, and it is a very big group thinking actually, I see it. Because you are a graduate engineer, you're always complaining. You always think you cannot attract opportunities because you are a graduate engineer. We need to change that. We need to build a different perception around it. And you will see it, and you see it work. The second one is our perception. How do we see ourselves deep down? We already look down on ourselves even before anyone looks down on you. I don't remember a time where I stepped in a meeting or made a presentation or made a design and anyone told me I'm a graduate engineer, or you are a graduate engineer, you should not be here, or you. No. It's a mindset, guys. It's how do you perceive yourself? Over and above that, our approach and training. We'll cover it. How do we train? How do we transform you? This is not a course. It's a whole hell of a transformation. If you immerse yourself, then you become great. We will also be doing onboarding to our platforms of learning platform. So we use Telegram, and you remember people talking about deep cubes, blah, blah, blah. So we'll be doing that on Monday. We are going to group you people based on careers, expertise, and knowledge, and then that's it done. So our sessions are mostly on Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday. Tuesday, Thursday. Oh, this thing is moving very fast. Sorry. So this is the program. It is Tuesday. So this is the only week we will be meeting on Monday. This is the only week we'll be meeting on Monday. So that is next 7th of April. So that we make sure you have all the softwares, you are onboarded in the learning platform, we get to know each other, you know the people in your cubes, and you know your captains and your leaders, and how everything will be run. That's easy. Then on Tuesday, and remember that is exclusively for people who have already paid. That is not for everyone. Then on Tuesday, we are going to have a session, and remember the time is 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Same time that you joined this program. And actually what we do is you will be using your phone and your calendar, and you schedule it for the next 5 weeks. Not saying that you forgot, because we will hold you accountable. Then we will be going about AutoCAD Civil 3D interface tour and fundamentals of 2D drafting. This one is very easy. We are going to talk about how you do drafting, The project for this one is a box culvert. So we'll be doing a 2D drafting of a box culvert. And then after that, we have a project, milestone 1. And this one you will be required to submit it to us. Then after that, we are going to have another session on Thursday. Hey, this thing is jumping, huh? And then on Thursday, we are going to, this is week 1. On Thursday, we are going to talk about practical engineering survey. So we will be immersing ourselves in the shoes of a surveyor. What is the relationship between a surveyor and an engineer? What are the survey procedures? How do we work and manipulate survey data? How do we talk about using GIS and all of these aspects to integrate them into collecting accurate data that we can be able to use it for design? So that is what we'll be covering on Thursday. It has a lot of concepts. I'm going to share this with you so that you look through it. And then after that, we are going to have on Saturday, we call it engineering community feedback session. So in the engineering community feedback session is we have a recap of everything that happened on the week throughout the week. We review the challenges that you had in your project. Remember, after every class, there is always a project to be done. This project is building up to road to the 9-kilometer. So if you don't do project milestone 1, if you don't do project milestone 2, you cannot do 3, you cannot do 4, you cannot do 5. And that means you're not going to complete the program. So after that, on Saturdays, we always meet, go through what were challenges, how can we be able to improve the learning experience for you, what are some of the things that you didn't get, and then we go over them and then make sure that everything is good. Once that week is gone, we close it. I want you guys to perceive this training on a weekly basis. So make sure that the things that are done in week 1, you complete them in week 1. Number 2, don't buy the lie of you are going to work over the weekend. I have done it. I have bought the lie, and I tell you that I failed. So don't fail like me. Week 2, we'll be going to existing ground modeling for civil works. This is where we deal with topographic maps, we do with quantity takeoff for earthworks, we deal with digital terrain models, we deal with different aspects, topo maps, land subdivision, catchment analysis, site analysis, and all of that. That is on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we'll be introducing technical design of horizontal alignment. That is week 2. And then after that, we meet on Saturday again, go over. Remember, on Saturdays, that is when you make project presentations. We'll be selecting 2 representatives from each DeepCube so that they can make presentations. Remember also my training, I always use the best project. So I don't come into these trainings with my own design. I don't do that. So I come in and you give me the work to proceed. So if you don't give me the work, I don't give you knowledge. That's the trade. So give me your work. If you are the best performing candidate or engineer, I will use your design from the first week to the last week. So it is an open forum. It's a competitive environment, very competitive. Remember, we have the excellent captains of per program. So like this one, we had Captain Blasius, was the most outstanding captain. So you are the people who are going to make your captains become the best one. And of course, we reward them for what they do. So this is a competitive environment. Number 2, once we get the best students from each DeepCube, they will be joining us for internships. The internship is going to last for 3 months. What are the benefits? For 3 months. You will be able to join every cohort that we have, and you'll be able to guide other engineers who come after you. So you give back, you learn with them, you interact with them, you motivate them, you support them, and in the due process, you are also relearning the same process. So this is an open check for you. for you to be out there. Then we go about integrating design criteria and design standards in week 3. And then after that, we'll jump into quantity into engineering design of vertical alignment. That is, of course, in week 3. And then when we get to week 4, we'll be talking about roadway corridor modeling and pavement design. We'll be talking about quantity takeoff and cost estimation for roadworks. And then after that, we are going to, of course, have the feedback session for presentation. And then in week 5, we are talking about designing of detailed road cross sections, drawings, production, and data management. And then after that, of course, we'll have another last week to present there, or last weekend. And then after that, we have your graduation ceremony. And then after that, you will need to, in the graduation ceremony, we have a guest speaker, and then we'll be looking at opportunities in building information modeling for infrastructure design, because that is the other course that is on the offing and coming to you people. Remember, we issue out of the certificates of completion. These are globally recognized. If you're in a country, they recognize the certificate. So this is not something that is not, that is local. Remember also, for those who are in Kenya, we are pursuing accreditation of this program to provide CPD points for you with Engineering Bones of Kenya. And we hope that this is going to help you as well. So thank you very much. That is my long presentation. I wanted to make sure that everyone has been able to understand both the soft and the technical bit to ensure that you are aware of what the program is going to entail. Just to make sure that I don't forget, I am going to share this course outline with you right now in the chat box. I don't know, my team might have already shared it so that you can view it. Actually, if you want to view it, you can be able to view it from that point, and you're going to make the best out of it. So thank you very much, guys. I'm very excited. You motivate me every day when I see you, your desire to learn, and I hope that we are going to make it the best experience possible. So with that said, most of you are wondering what are the tools that you need to use these, and then I will hand over to Captain Wes so that he can take care of the tools.
The engineer, are you still around? All right, no worries. I think I'll be able to take over from that point. Kindly confirm that you can hear me. Anyone?
Yeah, we can hear you, though your network is on and off.
Okay, just a moment, I fix that.
Okay, thank you. Take it up, Captain Wes. I will be sharing details on payments and those who need tickets. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wes, are you in a position to take it up, please?
Yes, Jenny, can you hear me now? I think I was muted.
Yes, please. Yes. So take us through the softwares so that we complete. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Engineer, for that. And thank you for the wonderful presentation. So yeah, once you've had that, I know many of you are excited for the program and you're ready to jump in and learn with us. But you are normally hit with this caveat when you come and you realize that you come to me and you realize your PC cannot support the software. And I know it's truly heartbreaking for some of you to hear that. So I'm here to make sure that you have the right piece so that you can get a smooth learning experience. So I'm going to share my screen. I hope you can see. Kindly confirm. Can you see my screen? I hope so.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So what do you need? What do you need for this training to be fruitful to you? You need the hardware, yeah, you need the software, and most important, you need communication, and communication between the three and us as a team, so that we'll be able to address your challenges, we'll be able to help and guide you. So we need all those three things to help us. So I'll start with the first thing, which is communication. The fact that we are able to communicate right now is being powered by, because I understand all of us are able to get access to internet, and this will be very pivotal to your success in this program, because everything will be done virtually, meaning that you'll share to attend the class, to share your assignments, to get your feedback so that you can work on it, to access the resources. All of that you need internet. So I'll advise that you kindly ensure you have Wi-Fi, and those who can, it is cheaper than buying data, and the recommended speed is 15 megabytes per second. But if you have the minimum side, on the lower side, I'll recommend 5 megabytes per second. That should be sufficient enough to do that, to do the job. On the side of communication, most of our communication will be done via Telegram. The deep cubes, the group channels will be done via Telegram. So I'll ask you also to ensure you have the software installed. I prefer to have everything installed on your PC rather than your phone, because we rarely do our business as WhatsApp on your phone. It's to say, most of the business that we'll be doing will be on your PC. So I'll advise that you have it on your PC, and that will enable and ensure the free flow of information, which will help you achieve your goal. The next aspect that I love to look at is the hardware. And this is where we have the bone of contention. Yeah, because you get excited, you want to learn the program, and then you come to me and then I tell you that processor you're having won't be enough, or it's below the minimum. So I'm going to explain it this way. The processor is the most important, is the MVP in this conversation, because there is a lot of computation that we're going to do, the software is going to do, the PC is going to do, and most of those computations are going to be done by your processor, the CPU, central processing unit. So when you're getting your PC for the first time, or if you have your PC, you have to check if it will be able to support it. Because when we start doing the basic stuff, yes, you might survive. But when we start building the corridor and going further, you realize that you take a lot of time just to even move a cursor. And I know some of us have powerful machines, and I can guarantee that we still struggle, because even if when you're working with a huge drawing, your drawing gets bigger and bigger. You realize that you have to give it time for it to process that information. And it's worse if you have a very weak processor. So what is recommended? The basic is to have a processor with a processing speed of, this is how we measure the processing speed in gigahertz frequency. So the minimum is 2.5. The recommended is 3 gigahertz, but I know to get a 3 gigahertz PC, they're quite expensive. So what do? I realized that another thing when I was doing my research is that also the generation of your PC matters, because you get a 5th generation PC that has 2.9 gigahertz and still won't be able to support that, because the technology that was used cannot support the software that we have right now. So you make sure, as per now, what I'll advise is you make sure you have a 7th generation going forward. Even the 7th generation is about to be obsolete in 2 years. So having an 8th generation going upwards should be sufficient for you. And this, someone might ask, how do I check this? How do I verify the generation? So I'll ask you to right click on your taskbar and go to the task manager. And when you get to your task manager, I'll ask you to go to performance. And this is the easiest way to look at most of the information I'm sharing. Like the PC I'm using now, you can get all the information of the processor that I'm using from here. So this is an i5 PC. The first digit you see here, this gives you the generation. So this tells me this is a 7th generation PC. I probably have only 2 years before it goes obsolete with the updates that you are getting each time. The letter here tells you just how the PC or the CPU is going to consume power. So mine is not that power hungry. If you have a H, you'd realize that most of the time you reach out for your charger when you're using your PC. Now this is the MVP, the gigahertz, because it is mandatory they tell you how it's going to clock. So the best speed for this processor is 2.5 gigahertz, but it can go up to 3 gigahertz. As you can see right now, I was running some background applications. My processor is running at 3 gigahertz as we speak. Now, why did I bring this up? You find an i5, it's an 8th gen, 9th generation, or 11th generation, but they'll tell you that the best clock speed is 1.6, but I'll still tell you that that is enough. It's because after 2020, there's a technology that was introduced that is called turbo boosting, where the processor speed can be boosted when needed to a much higher speed. So you can find that where the base clock speed is 1.6, but it's boosted to around 3 or 3.2. That will work, and you will be working on a boosted CPU, if I may say. It's not recommended that to be your constant speed, but yeah, it will work. So if you're having an i5 8th gen having a processing speed of 1.6, fear not, it will work. But when we'll be doing the heavy stuff, I'll ask you to be quite patient with it. The next aspect is to check the memory. The memory, or what you people call in the local language, or what you're familiar with, is the RAM. Yeah, that's the term, the RAM. What is the recommended? The recommended is 16, but the minimum is 8. Why do we need that 8? If you install Civil 3D, you'll realize that the size is around 12, 14 gigs. And the general rule of thumb is when you're running a software, you take the total size, you divide it into 2, you get around 7 to 6 gigs. So that 7 to 6 gigs will be preloaded on your memory so that you can actively access some of the programs when you're using it. So if you're having anything less than that, let's say you're having a memory of 4, and we split your RAM into 2, and you're running Civil 3D, you see the bottleneck that we're getting to. It means that other processes have to be suspended for you to only complete that task, and that is not a good way to run your PC. So make sure you have at least 8 gigs, but the recommended is 12. But this one is not usually not a headache, because you can always change it. If you have an 8, you can always go and get a RAM stick and you plug it in. It's just a plug and play. But for the processor, what you get is what you get. You have to contend with it. Unless you're having the high-end, the desktop PCs where you can readily do that, and I doubt most of you have the technical knowledge to do that. What you get is what you get. So you have to contend with it. So I normally advise people, when you're searching for a new or scouting for a new PC, what you look for is the processor. Because if the PC has a good processor, probably all the other things will be good. And if they're not, they're easily upgradable. It's I'm yet to see this. I'm yet to see a very good processor on a mediocre PC. But I've seen a mediocre PC, a very good PC, very good. You look at the RAM, you have maybe 32 gigs. Look at the storage, you have 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. You look at the screen, it's good. But when you go to look at the processor, you find it's just a mediocre piece. So that too happens, and you find you're hitting the bottleneck each time you use your software. The other aspect is the space or the storage, or some call the ROM. So for the ROM, I'll recommend 250 gigs in the local disk C. If you don't have that, I can assist you migrate the extra storage that you partition to that, so that you have sufficient space to install and run Civil 3D. Other than that, we have the graphics card, so we'll be doing less of the rendering with the software. So I don't expect us, or I don't envision or see us engaging the GPU as much. And someone will ask me, what's the difference between the GPU and the CPU? The difference is, you think about it as the CPU as an aeroplane, and the GPU, think of it as a cargo ship. So the CPU as an aeroplane is flexible. It can go from port to port, airport to airport very quickly. It can carry diverse cargo. It can carry people, it can carry goods, it can carry information. And that is the CPU for us. And that is what we need for the training, because we'll be doing various tasks and we'll need faster computation. We don't want to stay there the whole day waiting for computation to be done. Now, the GPU is used to do concurrent, or let me say, you have the same task that is very repetitive, so you'll be doing it. It's just like a ship, a huge cargo ship. When it sets off on its sails, it will just move from port A to port B. It won't go to another port until it gets to the first destination. Yes, it can carry a lot, the same as the GPU. It can do a lot, but a lot of what it's doing, you realize what's carrying is just the containers. So if you're having a similar repetitive computation, that's when we engage the GPU. And this is when we are doing rendering, or when we are doing mostly rendering for Civil 3D. For other things, maybe those who game a lot will relate to this. When we're doing ray tracing, that is when we engage the GPU. So I won't stress much on the GPU, but what I'll stress much is the CPU. If your CPU is underperforming, you'll have trouble. So that's I've talked about that. The processor, I've talked about the memory. The display won't be an issue. Whatever you have, I know in this day and age should be sufficient to carry you forward. But if you feel like you need more, you can always use a secondary display. You just connect your HDMI, or you can do a wireless cast to your TV or a secondary display. Use it for that. For the GPU, I've talked about it. It's not that important, but it's great. If you have it, it's great, but it's not that important to have it. For the storage, when we install the Civil 3D, you'll need at least 15 gigs to be occupied. And when you continue working on it, you'll realize that the system files, as you work on projects, they keep on ballooning, but not as much. Maybe on a lifetime of 5 years, you might just add a gig to what you already had as the files. Now, this is another thing that is very important, but people may overlook it. A pointing device, that is a mouse, can be wired or wireless. Make sure you have it. It's like a pen or a pencil when it comes to design, especially if you're using a laptop. Don't lie to yourself that you'll use the trackpad. It will just give you hell. I know someone who once did a design, and I noticed where we were so deep. You realize that she was always late on the deliverables. And when we had a session with her, I realized that she was struggling to do some of the basic things. Then I just connected that. I asked her out of the blues, do you have a mouse? And she said, no, she has been using the trackpad all along. And she was thinking, in fact, she was thinking that Civil 3D is so difficult until she got the mouse and realized how simple things were. So make sure you have one. It will save you a lot of time and a lot of frustration to that. Now, the other aspect, having the hardware is not enough. And the other aspect that you need is the software. So I'll stress this, that Civil 3D is yet to be designed to be compatible with the Macintosh operating system, that is iOS. So mostly it will run on Windows. And if you have a Macintosh, you'll have to create an environment. If you have a Macintosh, you know how to do this. Or if you don't, you'll have to reach out and I'll help you to create one environment where you can run your Windows. And now, once you have your Windows environment, you can install Civil 3D on top of it. So having the software, make sure it's updated. Yeah. For those who have worked on the PC, I realize you rarely update your PCs, and that might bring the disconnect we see. So make sure you update your PC before installing Civil 3D, especially the latest versions that we're giving you. You make sure you're up to date so that some of the referencing, let's say the network licensing, can be able to ping and correspond as it checks, because you know the license is constantly checked if it's valid. And if you and sometimes your license might be valid, but your net framework is not, and it might ping and produce a false positive that you're not having the legit license and you're kicked out. So just make sure you're up to date and to avoid such inconveniences. The other aspect is the Civil 3D, of course. This is the MVP of the training. And it's like going to a farm without a plow. That's how we say in Kenya. What are you going to do there? Sit around. So this is what you need to have installed. And the next software that you will need is Microsoft Office Excel, especially for the first or second class. You'll need that as we expect the data. And when it comes to Excel, I think I'll address our brothers from South Africa or Zimbabwe, if I'm not wrong. No, let me just say the southern, our brothers from the southern countries. Check. I know from your dialect, the others might not know. You read when you say 0.5 for you, us will say 0.5 for you. You'll say 0.5, right? And when it comes to data now, when you import that data to Civil 3D might not get that. So you'll have to convert your Excel to understand that the decimal separator is point and the value separator is comma, not as the way you are used to. I've worked on someone today, I think it's Engineer Jabulani. I've realized your system is using your dialect in almost everywhere. You find you have 0.25, 0, that. So when it comes to importing your data to Civil 3D, that will be a problem because Civil 3D interprets a comma as a value separator, not a decimal separator. So make sure you look at that. The other software is Partial Manager. And I think for those who have worked on, I've already installed that. The SWDTM also. The global map, I don't know, engineer will advise if we'll have this there, and then Google Earth Pro. So for now, what I expect you to have is Civil 3D installed. You have Microsoft Office, that is Excel, or an alternative. You can use Google Sheets for that matter, or WPS, or any other alternative, as long as you can manipulate a CSV document, you're good. And then Partial Manager, this one we'll use for imaging our project. So it's very important you have it. Then the SWDTM, it's a small file. Most of the time it gets overlooked. We forget about it until we reach the end of our project. That's when people remember, oh, we needed this software installed. So make sure you have it on. Other than that, I'd like to invite any questions from you, if you have any. I'd love to respond to them.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. My name is
Thank
George.
you, George.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So regarding the softwares, I'm aware that sometimes depending on your location, some of these softwares are usually not free for people except they subscribe for the premium version of it. Is there any way we can circumvent that? Like, can you really help us to install these softwares without really having to pay the subscription for it, the premium subscription for them? Thank you.
Sure. I think unless you tell me about the region that you're in, most region they provide the free version, but no worries. Yeah, just join our program. There are instructions in the group. If you're able to follow them through, I'll be able to get you situated and settled in for the program. Everything. Okay. I think for the what is listed, I only have 2 people with very peculiar case, and that is related to their. I don't know if it's their PC or their software that I'm still looking into. That it's rejecting the software altogether. But other than that, the rest, regardless of the region, and maybe if you let me know, which region are you from? So that I don't speculate.
I'm based in the United States, so a lot of times when you are here, you realize that some of the softwares you used to access freely, maybe in Africa, from here, everything they want you to pay for it, including Microsoft Word, Excel, PDF, Adobe Reader, and all that. So that's what I'm asking.
Oh, that's all right, George. I think I'll be able to sort you out. We've had a participant from the United States, Manuel Gonza. He's been with us for, I think, 3 programs, if I'm not wrong, 2 or 3 programs, and he did well. He was able to access all the softwares. So kindly just talk to me, and I'll be able to set you up. No worries. Thank you. Looking forward to see you, George. Any other question?
Well, from my side, I wanted to confirm how you said I should change those things from commas to point. Do I change it on Excel or what?
Okay, let me show you. So just open Excel. I've opened Excel on my side. So this is the Excel that I'm using. All right.
Yeah.
So you just go to options down here, and then you'll go to advanced. So for your case, you'll find that you're using the system separators. It is checked on. So I'll ask you to uncheck it. And then you go to decimal separator, you specify a comma, you just delete what is there, you specify it's a comma. And then the value separator or the thousand separator, you specify it as a comma. The decimal separator, you specify it as a point.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Good evening.
Yes.
My name is Puso from Lesotho. Yeah, my question, will I be assisted to update my Microsoft? It's outdated, and I'm using the old version, 2010.
Okay, sure. Yeah, if you talk to me, I should be able to assist you with that. Not that quite difficult. So it's all about upgrading your license, so not quite difficult. So if you join us, or if you already joined us, just reach out to me and I'll be able to help you.
All right, thanks, Captain.
Sure, next.
Yes, Engineer.
Engineer,
good evening.
Yes, Godfrey. Good evening to you too.
Kindly go back to the size of the CPU. I did pick you well from there, and I'm in the process of buying a PC to attend these lectures. Thank you. CPU, the central processor.
Okay, the CPU. The CPU, the minimum should be at least 2.5 gigahertz as the base clock speed, right? Because we have the base clock speed, and then we have the top speed or the turbo boosted speed. So what is recommended is 3.5, 3 gigahertz, sorry. That is the recommended base speed. So if you get a processor that is at 3, you'll find it's boosted to around 4.5, 4.7 gigahertz. For now, as we speak right now, the powerful PC that we have gets up to 6 gigahertz in speed. So let no one lie to you that we have a 10 gigahertz processor. So the fastest you'll get is 6. So you see 4 is quite close, and you'll find it's quite expensive. So if you get something between 2.5 going up, you should be good. Should be able to run your software. But for longevity, because I know a PC or a laptop is not candy that you buy today, you use, you throw away. Yeah, it's something that you buy for the future. So when you're looking to buy for something that you'll stay for it, let's say 5, 7, 10 years, I'll advise you get something that is good, so that it will withstand the test of time. With technology, we can always improve the software. The companies or the corporations are usually generous enough to send you the updates, but they won't send you the hardware. And that is where the conundrum comes, because when a processor reaches a point in life where the software is so advanced that it cannot handle it. And that's why also I look at the generation. So if you're going to buy a PC right now, don't buy a 7th gen PC. I don't know if you get it, because in the next, say, 2 to 3 years, it will be obsolete. The softwares that will be coming in, it won't be able to run them. So if you're going for a PC now, I'll advise you get maybe the 12th, because we are getting to the 14th generation. You get something in the 10th, 11th, 12th generation. If you can't get the latest, but if you can't, get something in between so that you're cushioned for the near future. I hope that has answered your question, Engineer Godfrey.
Yeah, engineer.
All right, let me check the chat box. If you have a question, you can shoot it before we close it. I see we have 9 minutes.
So much. Thank you so much, engineer. I've taken the point.
All right. So I can see a comment from Engineer Felix Soto. If you don't have a graphic drive on installed your PC, how can you install it? Depends. Or which PC are we looking? Is it a desktop or a laptop? Laptops are limited, if I say. So you'll have to run it externally compared to a desktop where you can get to install. But we can have a chat. Maybe I can advise you how to do it. But for the training, as I said, yeah, it's not that important. What your PC has as the base model is enough for you. And then we have another question from Engineer Michael. I wanted to consult if I can still install with your help on another strong machine. This the other one I have is not as strong compared. Oh, so it means you've already done it. Okay, so you share the specs, then we see what we can do to move the license to the other PC. All right. I think you repeated the question twice. Then we have another question from Joseph. For Global Mapper software, can we able to get an updated setup also? I'll check if we'll be using it, and then I'll get an updated version for you guys, depending on whether we'll utilize it or not. And then another question from Miriam. Will I be assisted with? Yes. Tomorrow, Saturday, for those already joined us, I'm dedicating the whole weekend for you guys just to sort your issues, especially the 2 guys, that is Sasha and Brian. The guys we are having peculiar issues with their PCs. I'm dedicating the whole weekend to serve you guys. So kindly make sure by Monday, by the time we're having our first session, you're fully situated and you have everything ready for you. And then we have another question from Engineer Madenge. Could you please get the PDF schedule? The Canva is not allowing to download. Right? I think that should be organized by one of the captains. Should be able to download it and share. And then we have Engineer Felix sort of saying, just appreciating. And then we have Engineer Maureen. Will it work with a work laptop? Or work laptop? I normally advise you use your private or your personal laptop. For the work laptop, unless you're an administrator, I might be able to help you, because some of the processes need administrative privileges to go through. So if you're not an administrator on your work laptop, I'll advise. The answer will be no. And also, I don't. This is a company property or asset. I wouldn't advise you to use their asset for this program. I'll advise you use your personal laptop for other reasons that I have. All right, and then you have another question from Engineer Esaya. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Captain Hayes, how do you know all this IT stuff? Well, interesting. That's an interesting question. You know, my PC, as you've seen, is quite an old model. I got it around, was it 2016? Yeah, I should be doing it's eighth year or seventh. And my friend, one of my friend and one of our captains, Blasius, has been seeing me with this PC all the time, and he normally asks, did you get a new laptop? What he doesn't know is that it has been broken like 1,000 times. I've been getting in, changing stuff. This time I go and pull out something from the motherboard, go get another one, fix it there. So for me, what I say is that I love IT stuff. And aside from being just a civil engineer, and also the future, if you look at it, most of the processes we are automating them. So as a civil engineer, other than just being a civil engineer, I'll advise you to take a step and look into that technology, because technology is here to make work easier. And I'll draw you to history. Remember when the excavator was invented? It fired 1,000 people with shovels. Now you have a PC. It can do a lot of work. So make sure you are able to utilize it as you can. And then I have another comment from Engineer Mungiwa. I hope I pronounce it well. Please confirm the decimal separator is a full stop. Yeah, it's a full stop, and then the thousands, it's a comma. Yeah, I know for the South African guys, you use the comma for both, even in your dialect. I had it first from my friend and fellow Captain Baron, when we were having a discussion, and he read out a number and they said 0.5. And I tried to look at this 0.5. I didn't quite get it. And then later I came to understand that that's how that's your dialect. All right. And then we have another comment from Eleanor. Sorry, I could have missed it. Did you say that you will install Civil 3D? Not necessarily install it for you, but if you need my help, I'll help you. Yeah, because I know you're bright people, you can do it on your own. But if in any chance you get stuck and you need my help, I'll surely step in to help you. And then, yeah, we're just having Engineer Maureen saying thanks. Then we have a name that I don't know if I'll be able to pronounce it. Oja Chet Raj. I hope I didn't butcher that name. So if I install the software through download, how can I use it? Out payment, because Clark is not living in Germany. Yeah, we won't give you a crack. We'll give you a licensed product. So you once you have it, after the training, we'll give you a grace period of, let's say, how many weeks? 2 or 3 for you to complete your deliverables, and after that, we'll retrieve our license to get it back. So you won't have it. So once you have it, you should be good. You should be able to handle it. All right. I think that's all from you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for your insightful questions. I look forward to have an interactive session with you guys. I normally say that this is a circle. This is not a pyramid. We don't look up for knowledge to be dropping down like manna. We sit around, we converse with each other. We ask, what do you know? What do you know? You share it. If you're right, we tell you you're right. If you're wrong, we'll counter with that. We'll give a counter to that and show you why we think your approach is not the correct one. So don't feel intimidated. and encourage you to look at it as a circle of knowledge. Yeah, you're going to meet less experienced engineers, but they have different perspective to share. You'll meet experienced in engineers in the industry. Make sure you tap into their knowledge and their time that they've put into their craft. So make sure you benefit from that. Other than that, I welcome you. And what do I say? Cheers. Thank you. Engineer James, if you are ready to take it back as we close. Okay, I've seen Godfrey asking for the PDF. The Engineer James, is he still around or he dropped out? No, he was having some power issues. Let me try and reach out to him. All right, as we do that, those who are still engaging, that is Brian Kipruto and Sasha Musa and the rest that we had booked for tonight. I'll still be able to help you tonight. The rest we meet tomorrow, as I'll be active from 6, let me give you a grace of from 8 a.m. to help you with the software challenges you're having or you're experiencing. So just get to reach out via Telegram and chat me, and I'll be able to help you with whichever problem you'll be having.
Okay. Hello,
All
I'm
right.
I'm trying to complete the registration, but it seems I'll have to be sent a separate link altogether because I submitted, I didn't see any portion that says pay. I mean, I was
You didn't
filling the
see it.
form. Yeah.
Yeah, did you? Okay, all right. Kindly visit our website. Can one of our captains kindly share that? The website link where we can get the payment details for the course. It should be there. Oh, let me share the WhatsApp group where you can escalate some of those issues that you're having. I think it will be faster. All right. I think let me see if I can get to it in a short moment.
Are there issues like an address?
Yes, they need the PDF. They say they're having trouble accessing the the Canva document.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, you can share the
Right away.
PDF version
Everyone
of
has
that.
the right to. Yes. Right away. Let me share.
And then the other issue, Engineer Geoffrey is having a problem with the payment. It's not being prompted to that. And then the last thing I wanted to share was the link to the WhatsApp community group where they can learn from others and watch out for upcoming events and also escalate their issues if need be.
Okay. Let me do all of those things right now, right here. Okay.
Yeah, let me respond to. Sorry, Engineer.
Let me start with the first things that are easy to deal with.
All right.
So WhatsApp community, you can join.
The WhatsApp community, they can join.
So that I share now the PDF there because now it's
it
I
will
can
be
also
easier.
say it. Yeah, it will be easier.
So kindly join that community. We'll have like-minded engineers there. They'll be able to interact, share ideas, share knowledge together, and also we'll be able to look at your issues and escalate them to conclusion. To Engineer Raj, no, don't download it from Getting to PC. Kindly, we'll provide the software, the official software for you to download because the one from Get to PC, it has some restrictions. You might not see them, but if you check the code, you'll realize that there are some restrictions that are baked into it. So kindly don't download it from Get Into PC. We'll provide where you can get it. All right. So kindly join that.
Yes, I've shared the course
Right.
outline on WhatsApp.
All right. Thank you, engineer. I think I can give the meeting back to you.
All right. Thank you. Yes, you can. Thank you, everyone. It's always a pleasure to connect with you. I always find a lot of joy to see young engineers from different countries embracing the possibilities of advancing their skills and also joining a community where we can learn and grow. This community is going to be here for a long time and a good time, God willing, because we believe that also God and the gods have granted us this mission to carry it forward for a long time. So please continue to refer your friends, to refer everyone else to join the community so that we grow and thrive together. I'm also looking forward to facilitating this and make it one of the best programs. I haven't done this since January, and now it's April. So I've been going all hard and all out for you people, and I hope that you're ready also to grow, learn, become better. We are brothers, we are sisters. I'm not some guy. Yeah, this is a community for us. So we are here to help and support each other through this journey. And so let's be open to each other. So thank you very much. If you still yet to get your slot, please get it here. If you have your colleagues that you think they can benefit, refer them to me, and we are going to guide them. Promise you that you're going to take good care of them. So thank you very much. I'm wishing you a fantastic night. For those of us who are going to sleep, in case of softwares, Tin West is here. He's going to help you with that. So no worries. In case you need any help, reach out to any of our community members and you're going to respond to you. Thank you very much. May you all have a fantastic night. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everyone.